Tonight, Governor Sheriff Oboriwori to leverage on the potentials of the special agricultural economic zones. Chairman of local government in Delta North Senatorial District asked to submit performance reports of 100 days in office. Federal government abolishes 18-year admission benchmark into tertiary institutions. And abroad, Harris and Trump tie as voting is underway in the U.S. A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on the Delta Television Main News at 8. Joy Uche is my name. Governor Sheriff Oboriwori has said he will leverage on potentials of the special agricultural economic zones to create over 50,000 jobs for the well-being and economic prosperity of the people. Governor Oboriwori stated this when he received officials of the African Development Bank, ADB, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, and the National Cereal Research Institute, NCRI, led by Dr. Chuma Ezedima at Government House, Asaba. Ejime Udweme reports.
Governor Oboriwori said the program would enhance food security, agro-processing, employment creation, export earnings, infrastructural development, with its overall effect on the state's gross domestic product, GDP. He thanked the delegation for shortlisting Delta State among the successful states for the program and gave an assurance that Delta State would work towards the success of the program. The governor said the state was endowed with arable land for cultivation of palm fruits, cassava, maize, yams, plantain, and vegetables, adding that the special agricultural processing zone will be a strategic addition and will be successful. He said he would attract, engage, and recertify farms and agro-value chains to the best in their class using the template of the ADB.
The state also has estimated population of about 6.5 million people, largely educated, young, and energetic. This is why the special agricultural processing zone will be a strategic addition and will be hugely successful by the grace of God. We count on your support to see this project to fruition, while we pledge as a government to meet all the necessary requirements to enable its actualization.
Earlier, Dr. Ezedima lauded the Delta State government for its special purpose vehicle model, describing the model as unique and a pace-setter. He noted that Delta State had economic zone management company designed to manage the industrial zones within the area, stressing that the state had adopted the public-private partnership approach, which was fundamental for the bank.
We want the state to be in the driver's seat with respect to providing the enabling environment, one of which again is the Delta State SEC itself. Moving forward, the bank is looking at providing some catalytic financing to be able to help them to move forward on this process.
The managing director and chief executive officer of the Delta State Free Trade Zone, Pastor Godwin Akpovie, said the Free Trade Zone Operation Center in Kwale, the Osubi Agro Transformation Center, among others, in Isoko and Agbo, would create over 50,000 jobs for Deltans.
Every part of the state will feel the impact according to the directive of Mr. Governor. You and I know that his agenda is more. We want to create more work, more job, more exposure for the state.
Ejime Udweme reporting.
Governor Sheriff Oboriwori has charged public relations practitioners to leverage on technological innovations towards driving socio-economic growth and development in the contemporary global economy. Governor Oboriwori gave the charge by declaring open this year's Chief Executives and Directors Conference retreat of the Institute of Public Relations (NIPR) held at the multipurpose hall, Miriam Babangida Leisure Park, Asaba. Henry Osiayo reports.
Governor Oborewori said technology in digital communications could be used adequately for the audience to fully comprehend both the latent and manifest content of communication. The governor was represented by the Commissioner for Information, Dr. Ifeanyi Oswaza, noted that it was essential a message encoded to be properly understood by the decoder to adjust his attitude, taste, and behavioral patterns to suit what was intended. He noted that the theme of the conference and retreat, leveraging technology and data-driven insights for digital communication, was germane, given the jet speed of the growth of science and technology these days, and appreciated the Institute for their choice of Asaba to host the conference and retreat, which he said was to a large extent the confidence in the modest efforts his administration was making to make the state better in line with his more agenda.
There is need to adjust the demands of increased knowledge needed to make impact and have effective public relations practice. Let me add one of the latest advancements. That is the artificial intelligence, AI, which is increasing daily and threatening jobs done by men.
The Vice President of the NIPRO, Professor Emmanuel Dandaura, in his address, revealed that the Governing Council has approved the next conference to focus on public relations innovations. Executive Retreat, where members will showcase the various initiatives they have delivered to their various organizations. Setting the tone for the 2024 Directors Conference and Retreat, the Chairperson, Planning Committee, NIPRO Directors Conference, Mrs. Thema Oko, said the conference has over the years been a rallying point for industry leaders to x-ray topical issues and trends that shape the public relations industry.
Here, practically, to feed them, for them to be able to understand how technology is not here to kill them. It's not here to take up their job, but to wholly enhance their job and make them more productive.
There were goodwill messages from the head of service, Mr. Reginald Bayoko, delivered by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Urban Renewal, Mrs. Charity Eime, among others.
We practitioners of public relations must step up the utilization of technology in every area of our job.
The keynote paper presenter, Dr. Omoniyi Ibietan, said technology was essentially beneficial to man and the society as it brings values to the society, adding that our good interpersonal communication skills and strong aptitude for the written words were necessary ingredients for effective public relations.
So we must act responsibly. So the point I'm making is you can use AI tools to do great work to enhance your productivity. However, we need to be mindful of those negatively disruptive influences of artificial intelligence.
Participants at the conference, including the General Manager of Delta Broadcasting Service, DBS Asaba, Mrs. Christine Jobome Emetulu, said the theme for the conference, leveraging technology and data-driven insights for digital communication, was apt and harped on the need for media practitioners to leverage on technology in the positive way in the discharge of their duties.
We are in the high-level technology age, even though the resource persons here have mentioned that it is an evolving trend. So we cannot actually say that we're at the peak of the evolution of technology yet. So I will say, as far as the NIPRO conference is concerned, it is indeed very apt.
So with what is happening today, whether you are old or young, we need that innovation. So I implore people to work on it.
So we are here now to do this, and we are going to focus on it. with all rapt attention because the facilitators are people who are tested in this area.
It is imperative for humanity to embrace technology that is ever evolving, rather than to see technology as a threat to their existence. For Delta Television, Henry Usiayu reporting.
The Delta State House of Assembly Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs has directed chairmen of the 9 local governments in Delta North Senatorial District to submit performance reports covering their first 100 days in office. It has also requested for a report on the personnel strength of the local governments, number of political aides currently engaged, wage bills, jobs and contracts executed or are ongoing within the 100 days period, as well as records of how much revenue they've received since assumption of office. A directive was handed down at a meeting between members of the committee and chairmen, heads of personnel management HPMs and treasurer to local governments TLGs of the local governments. The chairman of the committee, Honorable Chukwudi Daffy, who read out the order, directed that all requested documents should be in 16 copies, enclosed in sealed envelopes and addressed to the chairman, House Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to reach the clerk of the committee on or before Tuesday. He said the interactive session with chairmen of councils in Delta North was far-reaching and revealing, disclosing that local governments in Delta Central and Delta South will soon take their turns. Honorable Daffy, however, congratulated the local government chairmen on their victory at the polls, subsequent inauguration and celebration of 100 days in office. The lawmaker pointed out that it was the first official meeting between the committee and the chairman and stressed on the need for them to foster a cordial relationship with one another. Drawing their attention to the relevant sections of the local government law on political appointments, a lawmaker advised that such appointments must follow guidelines. A member of the committee, Honorable Oboro Preo, enjoins the chairman to respect rules and regulations guiding activities of their councils. He gave an overview of the Delta State Fiscal Responsibility Law and reminded the officials that no contracts should be executed outside what had been provided for in the council's budget. He also encouraged the chairman to organize a training program to keep themselves abreast with the current MTEF and Fiscal Strategy Paper FSP guidelines on budgeting, income and expenditure in line with the more agenda of the present administration. In his contribution, Honorable Augustine Uroye stated that the laws regulating activities of the 25 local governments placed their supervision under the purview of the State House of Assembly and emphasized the need for all parties to respect provisions of the law. Similarly, Honorables Isaac Aonzia and Emmanuel Senebe expressed satisfaction with the large turnout at the meeting and stressed on the need for the chairman to maintain a good working relationship with the House Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to promote peace, security, and good governance at the grassroots. The chairman of Ndokwa West Local Government, Chief Obin Zete, on behalf of others, thanked the House Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs for the interactive session. He said the councils were aware of the powers of the House committees in carrying out oversight functions, even as he gave an assurance of a good working relationship with all stakeholders. Deltans have been assured of full implementation of the National Digital Economy e-governance bill in the state. The State Commissioner for Science and Technology, Honorable Daniel Odinigwe, gave the assurance during a stakeholders meeting with the Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy in partnership with Identification for Development held at the Professor Chike Edozeng Secretariat, Asaba. Gifts Onosha reports.
Honorable Odinigwe said the state government had commenced the implementation of e-governance, technology and ICT in the state's MDAs to ensure that the state followed the development of modern technology. He noted that proper approach had been taken to sensitize rural dwellers on the importance of digital economy and improve the ICT sector in the state for effective, free and accessible digital society.
The ministry and MDA in Delta State has a project and a program for training of their staffs when it comes to digital technology and ICT. And also started from the government house to have a file tracking system which is done electronically. So we're moving in that direction. We also have a head for e-governance which the state is implementing. So bit by bit we're taking it to get to that level.
The consultant for the Identification for Development, ID4D, Ms. Christiana Osai, said the meeting was to sensitize the people on the need for digital economy through training and retraining of people and through working with stakeholders both in private and public sector to provide an enabling environment for them in the state.
We hope to create an environment, or rather an infrastructure, or rather a framework to govern digital economy in Nigeria. This will include from the government agencies down to the common stakeholders or players in the industry like you and I who use digital technology solutions, and even down to the startup founders themselves. So every key player in the industry is contemplated under digital economy.
Another consultant for ID4D, Dr. Daniel Bude, stated that the bill was also developed to give legal validation to electronic contracts and ensure the bill curbed cybersecurity theft and protects privacy.
The bill also recognizes that electronic transactions sometimes come with issues concerning security, right? This bill has also put in place structures to ensure that the personal data of persons who are engaging in electronic transactions are being protected.
The event featured lectures from the resource persons on the key areas of coverage of the bill, the validity of electronic transactions, management and operational digital government, and digital government infrastructure and systems, among others. Gift Unosha reporting.
Communities have been charged to cooperate with oil exploration companies in their areas in their quest for development. Special Advisor to the State Governor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, gave the charge at a meeting with 14 communities in Obudu community in Warri North local government area held at his office in Asaba. Henry Unogwa reports.
Chief Uzo said the joint meeting was in continuation of peace meetings bordering on petitions written to the state government by some stakeholders in Obudu community and to hear from the representatives of Enerog Exploration Company and the aggrieved communities. He noted that the disputed parties had presented their side of the story and advised the company to recognize the community's traditional ruler and national body. Chief Uzo explained that the state government wants investors to operate peacefully in all communities and advised oil exploration companies to carry all stakeholders along for peaceful coexistence.
These issues will be able to resolve them. We've directed the company that they, as a matter of urgency, should go and see the traditional ruler of the kingdom and also see the estate led by Imo before they go into the bush. The community side, we had to tell them the area they've not done well, and they've accepted that the points we raise are very, very common. So on the whole, we've been able to manage the whole situation and everybody is in one place as of today.
Chief Uzo advised the people to support oil exploration companies in their area and charge Enerog Oil Company to respect their host communities, just as the state government desired peace in all communities of the state. In their remarks, the national president of Obudu community, Mr. Divine Eno, as well as other stakeholders, expressed satisfaction with the meeting and promised to maintain peace.
Initially, semantically, we're not in good terms, but we look at things now, all of us are laughing, we're happy, want to give all the appreciation for all that the state governor has done. Thank you.
Henry Onogwa reporting.
The new Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alalsa, has abolished the 18-year admission benchmark into tertiary institutions in the country. Dr. Alalsa disclosed this in his inaugural ministerial press briefing, or rather press conference in Abuja. He hinted on the possibility of a review of the nation's education policy. However, the minister said there would be no reversal in the federal government's decision to avoid over 22,700 degree certificates obtained by Nigerians in some universities in neighboring Togo and Benin Republic. The federal government, FG, has withdrawn the treason charge it entered against minors who participated in the recent #EndBadGovernance protest that was held across the country. The FG, through Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, officially took over the case file today and notified the Federal High Court in Abuja of his decision to discontinue the case against the protesters. The application for discontinuance, which was moved by the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, DPPF, Mr. Mohammed Abubakar, was anchored on provisions of sections 1741, B and C of the 1999 Constitution as amended and 108 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, ACJA 2015. The DPPF also applied for the proceeding to be conducted without the presence of the minors in the courtroom, in line with provisions of Section 266B of the ACJA 2015 and Section 1 of the Child's Rights Act. Human rights lawyer Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, as well as other defense lawyers in the matter said they were not opposed to the applications. The Federal High Court in Abuja today struck out the charges brought against a total of 119 #EndBadGovernance protesters. All 119 protesters were arraigned on Friday, November 1, on charges bordering on treasonable felony, intent to destabilize Nigeria, and inciting to mutiny by calling on the military to take over government from President Bola Tinubu, among others. The defendants were arraigned in two batches at the previous proceeding. The first batch comprised of a total of 76 protesters, which included 32 minors, and the second batch, a total of 43 protesters. At the resume of proceedings, the Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation, Federal Ministry of Justice, MD Abubakar, who appeared for the AGF, told Justice Egwatu that the federal government has decided to take over and discontinue the matter. Citing Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution, Abubakar told the court that the AGF, with the exercise of his powers, wishes to take over the case from the Inspector General of Police. Meanwhile, the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPS, has announced its intention to grant the just-released 52 minors scholarships up to the secondary school level. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ordered the release of the minors arrested during the EndBadGovernance protests. Speaking at a briefing today, NAPS Board of Trustees Chairman Alhaji Abdulmumini Kundak applauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the newly released entrepreneurship curriculum for pupils in basic schools, stressing the need for skill acquisition for national development. The association, which hailed the president for ordering the release of the minors, reiterated its commitment to fostering progress in educational development and quality pedagogy, while it continues to be a pillar of excellence and positive transformation in the country's educational landscape. He said the official recognition from CAC distinguishes the duly appointed Board of Trustees of the NAPS from any other group claiming such authority. NAPS National President Chief Yomi Otubela noted that the association is committed to reducing out-of-school children through its various scholarship interventions. He said member schools give a minimum of 5 pupils scholarships to pupils. The Ekiti State Judiciary has confirmed the death of the state's Chief Justice, Justice Oyewole Adeyeye, who died at the age of 64. The Chief Registrar, Mr. Adegoke Olanike, in a statement said Justice Adeyeye died after a brief illness. According to the statement, late Justice Adeyeye was a respected jurist who dedicated his life to upholding principles of fairness, equity, and justice. Justice Adeyeye was sworn in as a CJ on October 11, 2021 by former Governor Kayode Fayemi. The Federal Ministry of Works has terminated Section 1 Abuja-Kaduna of the contract for rehabilitation of the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano dual carriageway previously awarded to Julius Berger due to non-compliance with reviewed cost, scope, and terms. A government statement said the contract, valued at 740 billion naira, was initially awarded in 2017 with an initial sum of 155.748 billion naira. However, after several variations and augmentations, the ministry rescoped the contract and obtained approval from the Federal Executive Council (FEC) for a downward review to 740.797 billion naira. A termination notice issued on November 4 cited Julius Berger's refusal to remobilize to the site and comply with the reviewed terms. The company allegedly tinkered with the bills of quantities and engineering measurements despite being given a 7-day ultimatum to accept the revised contract sum. The federal government has initiated a strategy to provide financial protection for millions of Nigerians who are currently without insurance coverage. The initiative, which marks the first major implementation phase of the recently signed ASIL Accord, brings together the nation's top financial and insurance regulators in a collaboration to transform Nigeria's insurance landscape. Speaking at a roundtable meeting today, Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Office of the Vice President, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadijia, in a statement said outcomes of the roundtable would be presented to the National Economic Council, NEC. The statement explains that financial inclusion through insurance was an economic imperative, adding that the nation cannot build a resilient economy while leaving millions of citizens financially exposed. The Ondo State government has given out 34 million naira to 46 persons under its medical assisted program. It said the program aimed to assist persons suffering from various ailments and could not pay their medical bills. Presenting checks to beneficiaries in Akure, Commissioner for Health, Dr. Banji Ajaka, urged the beneficiaries to use the money for the purpose it was approved. Dr. Ajaka noted that the administration has always taken care of the well-being of citizens since its inception. He said the ministry sought approval for over 200 million naira, but budgetary limitations saw 46 persons getting 34 million naira. Still to come on the Delta television main news at 8, Harris and Trump tie as voting is underway in the United States. Details of this and more shortly. Stay with us.
Let's go! No, 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 no.
Let's go. If we continue like this now, where we go head? Bros, calm down. I know say it be like say all of us the verse now. But more will not say any damage what will they cause now to our own state. And when we talk about our own state, we they talk about ourselves, about our family, our fathers and mothers, our wives, brothers and sisters, even our children. If we use our own hands, scatter what we get as our own. Now where we go call our own again? Now truth it all go. After all, Governor Sheriff, he don't promise say go do more for their dance. Now wait till make us come dey fight now.
When see our guy they talk so, it makes sense.
You see now. No be lie. We need peace today so that we go fit experience the more agenda. Meaningful development for all. But where there is no peace, there cannot be prosperity now. When they fight, they prosper. No need for the fight. Now peace and unity. Now we want. It takes peace to experience more. Together in peace and unity, we will experience the more agenda. Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
Thank you for staying on. You are watching the Delta Television main news at 8. We're going on straight to the foreign scene. Election day voting has begun in the United States with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris vying to become next president. Both are locked in a tight race as voting is underway. The polls are open in all 50 U.S. states. Trump has cast his ballots in Florida, expressing confidence of winning after Harris voted by mail last week. Harris has advocated for abortion rights and pledged to lower food and housing costs for working families. Trump has vowed to seal the border and has proposed tax cuts worth trillions. Americans aren't just choosing the president, they are also picking members of the U.S. Congress, and some states are voting on abortion rights. Bomb threats have forced some polling places to close in Atlanta and Georgia. More than 82 million people voted before Election Day, and polls suggest the race for the White House is neck and neck. The announcement of the winner could take days or it could be soon after polls close. Let's join our business news desk for happenings in the business sector.
Oil marketers have clarified that they are not opposed to Dangote refinery and are open to purchasing refined premium motor spirit from the facility. The president of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria, Mr. Billy Gillies Ari, made this clarification in an interview with Chinese television's Morning Brief today. Mr. Gillies Ari stated that oil marketers would buy product from the refinery if all market conditions were properly negotiated and agreed upon. He also mentioned that marketers plan to meet with Dangote Refinery this week to solidify discussions and establish the groundwork for a cooperative working relationship. The Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) has facilitated Nigeria's first shipment to Kenya under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement (AfCFTA) with Lucky's Fibers, a subsidiary of Tularam Group, making its first shipment. During a visit to the Apapa Area Command on Wednesday last week to ensure proper documentation and verification of the shipment, Mr. Olusegun Olutayo, the senior trade expert and lead of trade enablement at the Nigerian AfCFTA Coordination Office, noted that the shipment from Nigeria to Kenya, specifically to the port of Mombasa, demonstrates the collaborative spirit of AfCFTA.
Thank you. And now we go on to some sports stories. Atalanta winger Ademola Lookman has been named in Serie A Team of the Week. Lookman was the hero of Atalanta's 3-0 victory over league leaders Napoli on Sunday. A 27-year-old scored twice at the Estadio Diego Armando Maradona. A Nigerian has now scored 6 goals and registered 4 assists in 8 league appearances for La Dier this season. 3 of his Atalanta teammates, Charles Di Kittilari, Edison and Isaac Hien, also make the selection. The Kittilari backed an assist in the thrilling encounter. Arsenal has been handed a major injury boost ahead of the UEFA Champions League clash with Inter Milan at San Siro tomorrow. Football transfer expert Fabrizio Romano said Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard, who has been injured, is back to training with the rest of his teammates today ahead of the Inter Milan clash. Odegaard has not featured for Arsenal since the end of August this year due to injury. A Norway international sustained an injury while on international duty with his country. He has missed many matches so far for Arsenal, including their defeats against Bournemouth and Newcastle United. However, it is yet to be confirmed if Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta will play Odegaard against Inter Milan tomorrow night. And that's our news. Here is a thought for the day. One thing that growth does is that it changes your association. And just before we go, here are the highlights of the news. Governor Sheriff Oboriwori has said he will leverage on the potentials of the special agricultural economic zones to create over 50,000 jobs for the well-being and economic prosperity of the people. Governor Boriwori stated this when he received officials of the African Development Bank, ADB, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, and the National Cereal Research Institute, NCRI, led by Dr. Chuma Ezedima at Government House, Asaba. The Delta State House of Assembly Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs has directed chairmen of the 9 local governments in Delta North Senatorial District to submit performance reports covering their first 100 days in office. The new Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has abolished the 18-year admission benchmark into tertiary institutions in the country. And from abroad, we did report Election Day voting has begun in the United States, with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris vying to become next president. Both are locked in a tight race as voting is underway. That's our news. Thank you so much for being a part of it. On behalf of the entire news crew, Joy Uche is my name. Good night.
Continue like this now, where we go head? Bros, calm down, calm down. I know say he build all of us the best now, but more will not say any damage will cause now to our own state. And when we talk about our own state, we talk about ourselves, about our family, our fathers and